When I heard Dame Dash that Jay wouldn't sign off on nothing, Jay wouldn't do this and Jay would that, because he couldn't let a Cameron blow up. He couldn't let an East Coast rapper like Beanie Siegel blow up.
Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately: Sean Carter.
He ain't answering the phone? He ain't answering the motherfucking phone.
After watching 50 Cent's Diddy documentary on Netflix, one absence is impossible to miss. Jay-Z isn't there at all. No footage, no images, not even a brief mention. Considering how publicly their history has unfolded over the years, that silence feels intentional, not accidental. Industry insiders say it wasn't a coincidence either. Reports claim Netflix made a late editorial move to remove a full segment from episode 4, internally referred to as the Jay-Z tapes. Sources suggest 50 Cent pushed for it to stay, but in the end, the platform chose to cut it entirely, leaving viewers questioning what was left on the editing room floor.
Everybody that it said, and Desiree Perez, all them people got dirt under them, bro. You understand? All them people got dirt on their fingernails. Jay-Z got dirt in his fingernails. You understand? Jay-Z was messing with young girls from our block. Tiring them. I'm putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm picking a side. Desiree, husband, was a former dealer that she turned on a whole cartel. All of them got dirt on them. And 50 got they dirt. You understand? 50 gonna know they dirt. Cause 50 got investigated, he got people that's in the street. So if they go at him, listen here, I deem him like myself 10 times the normal man. He gonna do what he gotta do. And the whole thing about it is they trying to retaliate on him for something he did to somebody else. I feel that it's something worth seeing. It's something worth coming around, because all that shit is about to fall. All that shit that we seen in the industry, these demons want to have sex and turn little boys into little girls into little boys. That shit's about to go out the window, bro. And we need to start speaking up and talking about it. We need to stop all this crazy stuff. We need people to put people out here that's doing like this, that's taking from people's families, that's beating women, that's beating women. I ain't got a problem with it. Let's go to war.
What's now circulating is that the segment was pulled after reports emerged that federal authorities had taken interest in the material 50 Cent assembled. Named sources claim the content allegedly triggered concerns and attracted the attention of investigators, becoming linked, at least at a preliminary review stage, to a wider inquiry that mentioned Jay-Z. While none of these reports draw firm conclusions, insiders suggest the level of scrutiny was significant enough to spark immediate editorial adjustments, fueling even more tension and speculation about why that footage was ultimately left out of the final version.
It was so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? So, I guess that's a certain type of closeness.
I ain't know anything about that, man. I ain't know about, Jay touching his, ass. So I got to go see the video. I ain't hear about that.
Come on, man. Everybody's seen that. 50 even pointed it out. Excuse me. When they was in ATL on stage. Remember when 50 bum rushed the stage with them?
Yeah, I think I recall that.
When Puff came on stage, first thing he did was pat Jay-Z on that. But I forgot. That's your favorite rapper.
Hey, him and Pac is 1A, 1B. But what's your issue with Jay, man? I didn't know you had an issue with him.
I'm never a fan of somebody that I was gonna knock out. And then we was at the it was me, him, Ashley Kushner, Puff and them. We was all at the next game together, and he didn't even remember none of it. And I don't expect him to remember, but I remembered. You understand? And he told Puff, he said, "Yo, Puff, yo, I heard about that Gene right there. That Gene got a mean left. Oh, he said, that Gene a knocking out. Then he gonna come up to me and say, man, you look like, man, you a tear ass up." And I said to himself, I said, yo, no Diddy, pause, whatever. I said, he don't even remember. I was about to knock him the F out. He didn't even remember. He said to me to Laura. But that's how these guys are, man. They'll cause situations and cause problems, and then they'll forget what they done because they on a whole nother atmosphere.
What stands out most is the imbalance. The documentary dives deep into other powerful figures, unpacks legal controversies, and dissects careers under a microscope. Yet, Jay-Z is completely missing. No analysis, no context, no scrutiny. When one influential name avoids all examination while others are fully explored, it doesn't feel random, and it feels calculated. That absence carries weight, especially given his well-documented history with Diddy, described by multiple former insiders as close for years, making the omission seem far less like a simple oversight and far more like a deliberate editorial decision.
Lawsuit come with Jay, the part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
That's right. To us, Black excellence.
that had to be there.
We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch. Like,
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. He ain't doing different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
This wasn't just industry networking. Insiders describe a long-standing bond built on personal trust and strategic alignment. But when Diddy came under heavy legal pressure, Jay-Z's legal team quickly issued statements minimizing that connection. Soon after, former insiders challenged that account, saying it didn't reflect what they witnessed. According to those close to the situation, the public narrative sharply differed from how the relationship actually functioned behind the scenes, raising serious questions about what really shifted.
Relationship and the camaraderie between the Jigga Man and the Diddler. Okay? These are two people that have been working in concert, collaborating and competing. These are people that have been covering each other's secrets for decades. That's why I say to sit there and to just make Diddy the acceptable monster and not address his greatest collaborator in all of his business dealings it's a miscarriage of justice. Because what you're doing is you're leaving the other half of this two-headed monster out on the street to still be able to do what they do. While this one looks like he's down. This is a man who pow-powed his own brother and somehow walked away from that instance, got involved in the street drug trade, and somehow everyone else went to jail except for him. He's been making deals with the government and with the feds for quite some time. If none of this is real, how does the CEO of his record conglomerate Rock Nation, how is she a known federal informant whose background is transferring on multiple levels? Desiree Perez is one of the most despicable human beings to ever walk the face of this earth. And I'm not saying allegedly. I know that about you, man. I know about all your business dealings in Laredo. I know about all your business dealings in Guadalajara. And I know about who you know in Sinaloa. Why is a woman who's had this much engagement with the Mexican cartels running a rap conglomerate? That makes no sense. And she is a chartered government informant. What it sounds like to me is that the government found a very, very, very successful way to control and manipulate hip hop by allowing their top agents to run everything and keep the independent jail system going, because a lot of these rappers are also heavily invested in the jails that most of these rappers go to. It's a bigger business.
You have to show damages to really win defamation as well.
Absolutely.
Is that just
But
part of the legal plan?
they're not going to do that against me. Because if they do that, then they have to explain how I know what I know. See, the truth is I've had them at check for 2 years. Checkmate is coming. I promise you.
That distinction matters because when major investigations widen, they rarely stay centered on one individual. They expand to patterns, networks, and associations, asking who was involved, who was aware, and who chose to stay quiet. That's typically when strategic distance starts to appear. From the outside, it looks like a calculated effort to create separation, with Jay-Z seemingly focused on shielding himself from any potential fallout tied to Diddy's growing legal challenges.
There's no vindication for me because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
According to people familiar with the matter, the removed section of episode 4 was reportedly designed to explore long-discussed industry rumors connected to Jay-Z's inner circle, private dealings, and the tight confidentiality frameworks often used to handle sensitive issues. And these conversations have circulated quietly within entertainment circles for years, but have rarely been examined directly, especially on a major streaming platform. That's what makes the decision to cut the segment stand out even more, particularly in a documentary that otherwise presented itself as bold and unfiltered.
Finally gonna have a real conversation about whether or not Rihanna was trafficked to Def Jam.
She was an innocent baby when she came over here. And look at her now.
14 going on 15 years old. Flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in a hotel room. Auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning, a 14-year-old girl.
With no parental consent.
Nobody. She was flown to another country. She was taken to Def Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours alone with no parental supervision.
And she was
Father was
how old?
blown up separately. She was 14 and a half, going on 15. She's about 16 when Pon the Replay came out, wasn't she? Her father collected a $500,000 check. She has the fastest inked deal in Def Jam history.
How did they get Rihanna from Barbados to New York City? Quickly. They got her there quick.
Like that. On a private plane.
Yeah.
Just told you, just said that.
If people knew how many of these girls are transported around on private planes, how they're able to redact, change names on manifests, she wouldn't have needed parental consent or a passport if she got on a private plane on the manifest listed as someone else. They only worry about the body count. They're not checking IDs at the tarmac. They're trusting whoever's bringing them on is doing everything above board. So many girls were transported, models just like.
Another removed segment reportedly examined how younger artists were handled in the industry, focusing on power structures, mentorship dynamics, and behind-the-scenes pressures. Sources say it aimed to highlight systemic practices rarely discussed publicly. Its removal stands out, especially since the documentary positioned itself as a bold look at accountability and industry culture.
Was you and R. Kelly ever cool at any point?
Why? He's an R&B. I'm not an R&B. No disrespect to R&B because I'm cool with Tyrese. But we have these things like sometimes I'll be like, that's that R&B shit you doing. You know what I mean? I'm not R&B nigga like that. I wasn't hanging out with no R&B nigga. I just couldn't. I think the fact that Jay was fucking with him is what used to blow my mind more than anything. Like I don't know why he wants to fuck with this guy so much. Like why? I just never understood it. So I think it was just more me feeling awkward about the fact that I had to be around him on some level, but I wasn't around him. Like I never was around him. Like even when that not guilty, I wasn't like I came for the video, I was out. I wasn't a guy, and I think like we took pride, at least I did, and my crew, in not hanging out with famous people or famous men. Like if you was gonna be famous, you had to be a female. But I wasn't trying to be up under no other famous dudes. I didn't think that was like I'm not gonna hang out with you just because you're famous. And I don't like dudes that much. So I was like, why would I have no reason. Like what am I gonna do? Go to the studio and hang out with it? Like I don't do that.
Right. Did Jay know about what he did to Aaliyah?
Did he know that everybody knew R. Kelly married Aaliyah at 15? Everybody knew that. So was the conversation had like, yo, how you gonna go and do something with this dude? Hell yeah, that conversation was had.
These conversations have existed for years. But what's changing now is the reported shift toward examining how influence, wealth, and silence may have intersected behind closed doors. That wider lens brings R. Kelly back into the discussion, as many industry figures quietly created distance long before his controversies became public. Dame Dash has stated he wanted no connection whatsoever, while Jay-Z continued professional collaborations at the time, a contrast that is now being re-examined as renewed debates around judgment, responsibility, and long-term accountability resurface.
Like, yo, how you gonna do a project with a mama girl? We had the conversation. Why would you still with with someone that raped your girl? Would you still do anything with that person? So why would anyone expect me to? But that's what I don't understand. I'd be like, yo, people be like, why? Just that alone. There's a lot of other but that alone was like the nail in the coffin for me. I was out of there. I was gone. Trust me. After that, I don't want to be nowhere near. I knew that shit was gonna blow up. I didn't want no parts of that shit. Like I was like, I don't want no parts. That's not good money. So I was done with him for that.
How did Jay respond when you confronted him about it?
You know how he is. He's like, yo, I ain't nothing to do with that.
Damn.
What I would love is for someone to ask him, like, yo, why would you still do a project with that man knowing that he raped Aaliyah? That should be the question. Period. It shouldn't be for me. It should be the question posed to him. I don't give a fuck about nothing else. But that right there was bridge burnt. But I just was like respecting her, respecting the business. But I was I moved out of rock. Like if y'all look at, I left Rockefeller. It wasn't that I got kicked out of Rockefeller. I left Rockefeller. You understand what I'm saying? The option was there for me to stay. I did not want no parts of it. I was done. I left Rockware. Think about it, bro. I said, all the money, I'm out. Now think about, a lot of men would not have made that choice, but any real man would have to make that choice. I was left no choice. He gave me an offer I could not refuse. And we done. You know what I'm saying? You gonna f with this man, you knew he was my girl, you was in love with her. How could you do that? It's obviously you want me to feel away. Like it wasn't enough money for us to do that. So I was done.
Dame Dash later entered a relationship with Aaliyah after she reached adulthood, a detail that has kept difficult questions alive ever since. Critics continue to debate where Jay-Z stood during the earlier years, why he maintained close professional ties with art, one Kelly while others intentionally stepped away, and what drove that decision. Was it purely a calculated business move, or did it signal alignment within tightly guarded industry circles, where influence, access, and loyalty often determined who remained connected and who quietly faded from view?
Time for Aaliyah Dana Harton's death to be properly investigated.
This is where Jaguar Wright re-enters the conversation. She says she reached a breaking point after witnessing troubling dynamics in the music industry, particularly in matters linked to Aaliyah.